Hey guys, so today we're going to talk about Ohm's Law. We're going to talk about the power wheels, and we're going to talk about what some of the meanings of the names are, all right? I know that we've already kind of gone over this in some of the last videos, but I just wanted to make sure we clarify a few things, and then I'm going to actually work a few problems with you so you can see how it's going to be, and then you're going to go ahead and get started on that worksheet, all right? So the first thing I want to point out is these are the Ohm's Law wheels, or they're sometimes called the power wheels, things like that. They are identical. I know that they have different letters, or different letters, mainly these two, than these two right here, but they're the same thing. If you look and you see that amps right here is A stands for amps, well, I stands for intensity, which stands for amps. So the reason I wanted to point this out to you guys was because you might come up to a situation or a test, more than likely it's going to be on a test, where they give you this symbol, or some of the letters are mixed, and where the I will be replaced over here for the A, but yet the V and the R will be there. So I want you to look at it and you can know that they're the exact same thing. Now let's talk just a little bit about what we have here. So we have our voltage, which is going to be our potential. We have our amps, which is going to be the pressure that's behind that electrons and stuff like that. We have a resistance. Resistance is going to be things like a light. They're going to be an actual resistor, anything that creates load or does work, okay? And now there's resistance, there's a resistor, and then there's resistance. There's two different things, all right? And we're going to talk a lot more about that as this program continues. The energy stands for volts, and it's also signaled as an E. And then the I stands for intensity, which is amps, okay? So don't let yourself get confused, because these are the same things, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean this board off, and we're going to go ahead and work a few problems, and then you're going to be able to get started on your worksheets. Okay, so all I did is I rewrote our power wheel, or our Ohm's Law wheel here. And what I did is I just drew a line that doesn't connect to the sides because that's a division bar, and then I put the dot for multiplication. If you can remember this right here and the way this is set up, you can answer almost any Ohm's Law question. We're going to go ahead and talk about the parallel and series ones in a minute or a little later on, and they're going to need a step that's done before this. But if you get a basic circuit that looks like this, we can kind of figure it out, okay? So how it works is if you need to find amps, what you do is you can cover up amps, and then you can see it's just voltage divided by resistance. Or if you wanted to find resistance, you'd cover up the R, and it's voltage divided by amps. Or if you wanted to find the voltage, you would go ahead and you would multiply amps multiplied by resistance. Pretty simple. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how one might be set up. So I got my cheat sheet, that way you guys don't have to see me sit here and write all these problems out longhand. Okay? So how these things are typically going to work is this is the international symbol for a battery. This symbol could be something totally different. It could be a little wheel with a squiggly line in it to mean AC. It could just say 12 volts AC right there, or something like that. So we're going to go ahead and for our first problem, we're going to make it 12 volts. So we're just going to put 12 V right there, okay? And just so there's no confusion, this is our resistor. It's poorly drawn, but this is what it is. Couple squiggly lines. Again, that could be anything. It could be a light bulb, it could be a contactor, or the coil in a contactor. It could be anything that's doing work. Okay? Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to write our resistance in ohms next to this, and then we're going to write our amps up here, okay? Because that's what will be traveling through the lines, all right? And then for the resistance that we have, we're going to go ahead and do 5 ohms. And this is the that's a little ohm symbol right there, okay? The little ohm symbol. So there's 5 ohms and we got 12 volts, okay? So we're going to come up to our bar, or our circle up here. We're going to see that we can rewrite this right now and just see we got 12 volts divided by 5 ohms. So the answer to that question should be 2.4 amps. Okay? See how easy that problem was? Let's go ahead and work another one. So in this problem we have right here, we don't have the voltage. So we're going to go ahead and try to figure out what our voltage is. And all that is going to be A multiplied by R. So it's going to be 20 ohms times 0.6. All right? So went ahead and did that. This is going to equal 0.6 amps, I'm sorry. This is going to equal 12 volts. So then we would come down here and we would write 12 volts. Pretty easy like that. So let's go ahead and work one more where we're going to try to find what our resistance is, okay? Okay. So now we have this question here, and this is a little bit different. Look how the voltage has changed. And again, this voltage could be anywhere between 20 or 12 volts all the way up to 480 volts. And that's going to change all of this, right? So we're going to go ahead and do this problem. We know we have a known voltage and we have a known amps. So that means we need to divide voltage. Let me wipe that off. We're going to divide the voltage, which is 24 volts, by our amps, which is 2.4. Okay, so we're going to divide that all up, and what it's going to equal is 10 ohms of resistance. I think I got to work on my resistance. All right, let's do one more. Okay, so in this problem, we're going to have to try to find the voltage as the only one missing. So we have 100 ohms of resistance, and we have 0.25 amps. So that's what we're going to go up here, and we see that we need to multiply amps times R to figure out what our voltage is. So that's going to be 100 times 0.24 equals 24 volts. We can go ahead and write that right down here, 24 volts. All right, so now what you're going to need to do is you're going to go ahead and work through the problems list that we have listed below. If you have any questions, please come grab me. I'd love to work a couple of these on the board with you if necessary.